On a beautiful Friday evening in Oxford, Mississippi, it's time for SEC baseball, a top 25 matchup, a series that began in 1906. It's LSU and Ole Miss from Swayze Field. And we welcome you to the ballpark on this Friday night. Alongside Keith Kessinger, I'm Richard Cross. Thanks so much for joining us. Not a lot of love lost between these two programs, two teams that love to beat each other. Doesn't really matter what the sport is.
Yeah, I think that is an accurate reflection of certainly this fan base's thought. Ole Miss, LSU, doesn't matter what you're playing. Feels important, and certainly it's important for these two teams tonight.
And both of these teams coming off big series wins a week ago. For LSU, it was 2 out of 3 in Knoxville with drama on Sunday. For Ole Miss, it was a series win against the Florida Gators on the road. Judd Utermark in game night was absolutely massive.
Yeah, no question. And I mean, Ole Miss needed this. I think 20 innings without a run. Judd Utermark's big swing in the ninth inning was certainly the biggest of that game. Gave Ole Miss the series win with a big ninth inning.
405-foot home run. Ole Miss scored 5 in the top of the ninth, went on to win the game and the series. For LSU, Derek Curiel, he has been on fire over the last week and a half, hitting an even 500 with a couple of long balls and has driven in double digits.
Yeah, very talented outfielder for this LSU team, and certainly somebody we'll be watching all weekend long.
He will hit in the 4-hole for LSU behind a guy that had 4 home runs in a game. All 4 of his home runs, Cade Arambides, we're talking about, in SEC play came last Sunday against Tennessee in an extra innings win for LSU over the Volunteers. What a day at the ballpark for Arambides. So we'll see him in just a little while. That LSU lineup going to deal with Hunter Elliott, the veteran left-hander, 6'3", 215 pounds, out of Tupelo, 3-1 on the year. 60 punch-outs on the season with 26 walks.
Yeah, you see the numbers, but what the numbers don't really show is the guy that just makes pitches when he has to make them. The fastball's not going to overpower anybody. The changeup's really good. Talk on the board right there. The pickoff move, outstanding. But the young man just competes, makes pitches when he needs to, and you look up and typically keeps his team in the game late in the game.
Took the loss last week on Thursday night in Game 1. Actually, I guess it was Friday, Game 2 of that series. Went 4 innings against Florida, gave up 4 hits and a couple of earned runs. Best outing of the year came against Kentucky when he went a season-high 6 1/3. The defense behind him, how about Dom Decker at second base? No errors this year. Leads Ole Miss with 69 infield assists. You see Golden Federico and Becerra in the outfield. Utermark, Randall, the aforementioned Decker, and Will Furness at first base. Of course, Will Furness, deep ties to LSU. His father, Eddie Furness, now Dr. Eddie Furness, an All-American with the Tigers. First pitch of the ball game, we are underway. That is in for a strike to Chris Stanfield. Stanfield, the senior from Tallahassee, with a couple of long balls on the season. He's hitting .273, trying to set the table at the top of the order for LSU. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ole Miss coming in 23-11 overall. 2 games below 500 in conference play. 5-7 through the first 4 weeks. LSU an even 6-6 in the SEC with that 22-12 record overall. 1-1 to Stanfield. This one just misses up for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Midweek action, Ole Miss got an 11-1 victory over Alcorn State. That was a 7-inning win for Ole Miss. LSU dropped another one at home. They got popped pretty good by Bethune-Cookman. Lost that game 16-6. I beg your pardon. Lost 10-7 to Bethune-Cookman on Tuesday night. 3 balls and a strike to Stanfield. And this one misses, and that's a leadoff man on base for LSU.
It's the one thing that Hunter Elliott will do. He will walk some guys, gets himself into trouble. Stanfield certainly going to have to be aware, as I'm sure LSU has talked about, Hunter Elliott with an outstanding pickoff move.
Stanfield making his 20th appearance of the year in his 19th start. He is 1 of 2 in stolen bases this year. Here's the home run leader for LSU, Jake Brown, from the left side. He's got runs this season. Strike. throughout his career, you've seen some walks and some base runners, especially early in the game against Hunter Elliott. Seemingly has been important for opponents if they are going to get to him early. He throws this one away, and that's going to allow Stanfield to get to second base. And Stanfield was kind of frozen in his tracks when that ball was thrown over.
Yeah, I think with a good throw right there, that's going to be really close at first base. Obviously, it was not a good pick throw, and Ole Miss has had some issues with pitcher errors on pickoffs. Yeah, you can see it. That ball's down. It's going to be really close. It was not down, and Hunter Elliott not off to the start he was looking for.
So E1 gets Stanfield into scoring position. And now an 0-1 pitch coming to Jake Brown. And Brown hits this ball high in the air, deep to right field. You can forget about it. 2-run home run. Jake Brown hanging breaking ball, and he crushed it.
Yeah, took that first pitch breaking ball, obviously saw this spin, kept the hands back, and that was an absolute no-doubter for Brown. LSU off to a fast start here tonight. You can see this is just a breaking ball, and I mean, you can't get it much better than that. That is right down the middle. Brown knew it. The ball ended up all the way up into the student section.
Over the bullpen, over the road that runs behind it. That's the 7th home run allowed by Hunter Elliott this season. So a leadoff walk, an errant pickoff throw, and a 2-run home run.
Yeah, home plate umpire Clint Fagan was having a conversation with Jay Johnson. After that, I don't know if he didn't like something that Brown did going to first.
Now the DH, Cade Arambidi. Arambidi takes strike one on Sunday. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 home runs on a 5-hit day for Arambidi. The first LSU Tiger ever with a 4-home run game.
And he hit his first one in the 5th inning. That's the crazy part. He didn't have one till the 5th. Ended up getting 4, 5 for 6 day. That makes a fun plane trip home, by the way.
An extra inning game that ends in a 10-run win.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen a 10-run. I know LSU's never done it. They've never scored more than 7 in one extra inning.
Arambidi ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Swings and misses there, and the count evens at 2-2. LSU striking first here in the top of the first. Tigers have won their last 2 weekend series. They got Friday and Sunday against Tennessee. The week before against Kentucky, lost game 1, the Friday night game, and came back and won 7-0 and 17-10. On the ground, left side, backhanded by Randall. Long throw across the diamond. That pulls Furness off the bag. Wasn't going to be in time to beat Arambidi, so an infield single, 3 in a row, reached safely to start the ball game tonight for the Tigers.
Yeah, this one not hit hard, but really no chance for Randall at shortstop. Gets to that one, throws it on the run. As you said, Arambidi was going to beat that out anyways.
Leadoff 5-pitch walk. And then a 2-run home run on the second pitch of the at-bat to Jake Brown. Tried to double him up on breaking balls. And Joel Mangrum going to come out and try and settle his veteran starting pitcher down.
And you said it earlier. We've seen a little bit of this out of Hunter Elliott where there's some early struggles, and then he does seem to settle in and find it. Obviously, LSU wants those early struggles to be a big number early struggles.
Home plate umpire tonight is Clint Fagan. He's headed out toward the mound to break things up. He is joined by Jeremy Dupree at first base, Christopher Gonzalez at second base, and Jason Johnson is the third base umpire tonight. Pair of runs for LSU here in the top of the first. Still nobody out. Cade Arambidi at first base. Has not stolen a base this year. And this ball's ripped out to right field toward Becerra. He will make the catch, and that is the first out of the ball game. Tristan Becerra, the Clemson transfer, out in right field for Ole Miss.
Another good swing for LSU right there. Curiel, line drive, just hit that ball right to Becerra.
Stephen Milam, been around this program for a while, the junior from Las Cruces. Has a couple of World Series rings. Over to first, and Arambidi is back in safely. Milam hitting .258 on the season, just .235 in Southeastern Conference play. See that big knob on the back. Chokes up a little bit. Outstanding defender out at short for LSU. Just off the outside part of the plate. Big crowd that is still filing into Swayze Field on Friday night, the opening game of this three-game series between the Rebels and the Tigers. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-2.
It is a beautiful night for baseball, that is for sure. Looks like we're going to have good weather all weekend long. No wind tonight, temperature mid-70s. Pretty nice.
Could be highs in the 80s the next couple of days. Everything in bloom. Over to first. No Hunter Elliott has an elite pickoff move to first base. When you've got a guy that does not have a stolen base the entire season, is it a waste of time, or are you just trying to free
steal
somebody?
An out. He's trying to steal an out.
This one off the knob of the bat, and it's fouled back, and a strike on Stephen Milam. That was the 17th pitch here in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, last year Hunter Elliott was double figures, I think, in pickoffs. So anytime you can steal an out, you want to get one. Got 3 or 4 this year, I think.
He's got 3 so far this season. Ole Miss with 12 as a team. There's a swing and a miss, a strikeout. For the second out of the inning, Milam goes down swinging.
That fastball up and out of the zone. Milam chases. Guys get so caught up worrying about that Hunter Elliott changeup. That 90-mile-an-hour fastball comes in seemingly much harder. That time Milam couldn't catch up to it.
Here's Mason Braun, first baseman. Batting in the 6-hole lineup, and he takes a fastball right at the bottom of the zone for strike one. The freshman from South Bend, Indiana. A couple of home runs. He's driven in 12 on the year. Mason Braun making his 16th start of the season. He's played now in 30 games. Goes right there on the front edge of the batter's box, closest to home plate. LSU coming off a national championship a season ago. They were the preseason #1 team. Fell out of the top 25, but with series wins over the last couple of weekends, D1 Baseball has them currently ranked at 24. And you see Ole Miss after the series win against Florida last weekend is at number 25. Federico on the run. That one's going to fall in front of him. Third hit of the inning for LSU. The Tigers have runners at the corners after the base hit the opposite way for Braun.
Yeah, that's just a good piece of hitting by Braun. That's a fastball away. See, doesn't try to pull it, just goes with it, drives that ball to left center field. Nice short stroke. Federico able to get there in time to cut it off. He doesn't cut it off. That's going to be another run for LSU. LSU a chance to have a really good top of the first inning right now.
This is an LSU team that offensively has been really good at times. Team batting average of .288. They've hit 58 home runs now after the long ball from Jake Brown, his 14th of the year. His first pitch strike to Omar Cerna Jr., catcher for LSU.
First hitter that Ole Miss has shifted. Entire infield defense on the left side of the infield. Good shot of it right there.
Cerna, a big freshman, 6'2", 245 out of Houston, Texas. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Wasn't quite sure about that one as the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes, and Hunter Elliott trying to limit the damage here in the top of the first inning. Runners at the corners, the 0-2. And the runner goes, fake to throw to second, now back to third, and Aaron Beatty is picked off at third base. Put the runner Braun in motion. Foley faked the throw, got the out at third. Jake Brown with his 14th home run of the year gives LSU an early 2-0 lead. Kason Evans on the mound tonight for LSU. The sophomore right-hander from Houston comes in at 6'2" and 196. 2-1 on the year, ERA just below 5. He had a 15 strikeout game in a win against Oklahoma earlier this year, but at times walks have been a bit of an issue.
Yeah, you see the numbers right there. Certainly he's got some swing and miss stuff. That fastball in the mid-90s, sometimes maybe even a tick better than that. 4-pitch mix, the split is a really good pitch. Gets a lot of swing and misses on that split-fingered fastball.
Team that got to him the most this year was Vanderbilt. Just 3 innings of work in that game. He gave up 6 earned runs, making his 9th start of the year. The batting order that he will be dealing with for the Rebels tonight, Tristan Becerra leading the way with 14 home runs and 38 driven in. Trying to get the bat going a little bit. He was hitting well up over 400, had 5 home runs in a week 3 weeks ago. He's cooled off a bit since then. Judd Utermark coming off the big weekend against Florida. That was highlighted by the home run in the top of the 9th inning that led to Ole Miss's win. Stanfield, Curiel, and Brown in the outfield. Pearson, Milam, Dardar, and Braun. You see Stephen Milam there, the shortstop. He has been really good defensively this year. Just 1 error for Milam. That was the play that ended the inning. You don't want to make that last out at third base.
Yeah, and you got to credit Foley. That's a good arm fake right there. That was a delay steal stop where you're not going to get thrown out at second base, trying to draw the throw, trying to steal a run. Obviously, Aaron Beatty got a little bit too aggressive at third, and Foley able to pick him off, and Dom Decker gets Ole Miss off to a good start.
First pitch that Dom Decker sees, grounds it through the right side of the infield. Starting to swing it a little bit better. The Murray State transfer with a hit to start things off for Ole Miss.
Aggressive on the first pitch fastball, hammers that ball through the 4-hole, and unlike some teams Ole Miss has seen, they were not shifting Decker at all. Gets that 4-hole base hit. LSU does put the shift on here for Tristan Becerra.
Only one defender on the left side of the infield. Rebels right fielder takes a breaking ball for strike one. Set of the senior from Greenville, South Carolina, just down the road from Clemson, where he played a year ago. Becerra hits this one out into the left center field gap, and that's going to fall in front of Stanfield. Decker made a big turn and then slams on the brakes. Back-to-back base hits, and that's something that you have not seen much of this year from Tristan Becerra, going the opposite way.
That's exactly right, and that's why you certainly saw LSU shifting him in the infield. Ole Miss aggressive so far. 2 fastballs, 2 swings, 2 base hits. Might be seeing a pattern of how Ole Miss wants to attack Evans tonight. Get that back.
Moved into third place all by himself in career home runs. He's got 42 of them, 13 so far this season. And he takes a big swing and comes up empty on strike one. LSU striking for a couple of runs in the top of the first inning. Ole Miss back-to-back base hits in the bottom of the first. This one runs inside for ball one to Judd Utermark. Utermark, the senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He was a star at Charlotte Christian. Takes high for ball two. Chase the breaking ball out of the zone there. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Judd Utermark. You see Kyle Gordon, the all-time leader in home runs at Ole Miss, had 48 in his career. The legendary Tim Elko had 46, and then there's Judd Utermark sitting at 42. Two-two to Utermark. And he gets him with a tight breaking ball there. Utermark goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning.
Evans probably wanted that ball down and away a little bit more. That's been the pitch Utermark's had issues with. That one ended up pretty much right down the middle. Judd swung through it. Big first out for LSU.
Now Will Furness comes to the plate for the Rebels. First baseman hitting .297 on the year. Just 2 home runs this season for Will Furness. Goes after the first pitch and chops it foul. Furness, the senior from Nacogdoches, Texas. One. A ball and 2 strikes. This one fouled off. Had a good visit a couple of weeks ago with his parents, Eddie and Crystal Furness, and got a son that's still in high school, but they have been in Oxford for just about every game that the Rebels have played this season, traveling with the team as well since the last go-around. They don't want to miss any of it. This one bounces in, and the count goes to 2-2. This ball poked out into center field, a base hit. Decker hits the bag at third. He's going to come around to score. Becerra goes first to third. It's an RBI single for Will Furness, and Ole Miss is on the board.
Yeah, it's just a good piece of 2-strike hitting right there. That is the split finger. You can see that ball's going down and away, and Furness just keeps the hands back long enough to get the barrel to it, finds a hole, and It's 3 singles to score a run. Haven't seen a ton of that this year out of this Ole Miss team.
Times it has been a challenge to string hits together in an inning. Still one down as Hayden Federico comes to the plate. Federico got off to a slow start this year, but his average has been steadily climbing over the last month. He actually leads Ole Miss in conference play, hitting .300 in SEC games. That is a strike. It gets away from the catcher, and Becerra read it perfectly, comes home to score. Cerna just couldn't squeeze it.
Yeah, you're just not going to see this much. This is a fastball that is waist high. If you're going to get a pass ball to score a run on a fastball that's basically inside corner waist high. Good read by Becerra at third base. Now you see it, look at this. Just he's trying to pull it back. He's trying to frame it into the zone. And Cerna just pulls it back too much, and you see Becerra, no hesitation, able to get to the plate. I don't see that much. I'm not sure I've ever seen that, actually.
Becerra went Superman into home plate. And it's funny you say no hesitation from Becerra. You saw the replay there. There was hesitation from Cerna. He just thought it bounced off his glove. He was going to jog out and get it. Runner on third. We've now got a tie ball game.
I mean, that ball went halfway to the mound. I mean, that was really in no man's land. Becerra's immediately recognizing that. Becerra runs really well, too. Able to get to the plate. The Rebels get a second run in a very unusual way.
Very different top of the first, bottom of the first. This ball out into right center field. It's dying, and it's going to fall between Brown and Curiel. Furness had to wait to make sure it was going to be down, and so that's the 4th single of the first inning for Ole Miss.
Yeah, Furness just couldn't decide. He got out there, it looked like he was about to take off. You see this is another fastball. Ole Miss attacking the fastball tonight. You can see Furness, at first he's going, and then he's like, I'm not sure, and ball lands. Furness unable to get the motor going again.
And that will give us a meeting on the mound for LSU as Nate Yeskie, the pitching coach for the Tigers, going to go out and visit with Kason Evans.
A Friday night where we've seen both pitching coaches in the first inning have to make mound visits.
You don't always see 2 runs for both teams in the first. You don't see mound visits all the way as Jay Johnson looks on from the LSU dugout. Longtime head coach, a lot of success there at Arizona. Now in his 5th year at LSU, 212 wins and a pair of rings, winning the national title in both 2023 and 2025. Of course, Mike Bianco, the year prior to Jay Johnson's first national title at LSU, won it as the skipper at Ole Miss. In his 26th year as the head coach of the Rebels, 972 wins. He's got 1,072 wins in his career. In his 29th season as a Division I baseball coach. Here's Cannon Golden, the left fielder, batting with first and second and 1 down in a tie ball game. 2-2 in the bottom of the first. And Golden takes ball 1.
Golden getting some playing time recently. Freshman with very athletic young man, can really run. Had some good at-bats down at Florida and certainly earns another start tonight.
10th start of the year for Cannon Golden. He takes ball 2 there. Hitting .273. He's driven in now 18 games. Was used as a defensive replacement, as a pinch runner earlier in the. That left field spot has been the one defensively that you've seen some rotation for Ole Miss.
Yeah, no question. I mean, coming into the season, Daniel Pasella was kind of supposed to be that guy. Just has not worked out for him swinging the bat. And Ole Miss has then kind of gone with a right-left rotation.
3-0 to Cannon Golden, and he takes a strike there. The count goes now to 3-1. 20th pitch here in the bottom of the first inning for Kason Evans. He's given up 4 singles and a couple of runs. The 3-1. That's low, and the bases are loaded. Now Ole Miss trying to turn the first inning into a big inning. Furness goes to third, Federico to second. Golden draws the walk, the first walk of the game by Kason Evans. And now Braden Randall, the Rebel shortstop, will come to the plate. Big opportunity for Randall, and he's got the left side of the infield wide open. He goes after the first pitch, an elevated fastball, and fouls it back for strike one. See Pearson, the third baseman, a couple of steps off the bag, but Milam has moved over to the second base spot. You've got Dardar played up the middle as the second baseman.
Again, Ole Miss very aggressive on fastballs tonight. It's an Ole Miss team that we've seen take a lot of pitches, hittable pitches. Certainly so far here in the first inning, that has not been the case.
No balls and 2 strikes to Braden Randall. And you see Cerna was set up away there, and the pitch ran down and in, missed for a ball. Randall stays alive, grounds it down the right field line, foul. Bounce up into the seats for a souvenir. Two and two now to Braden Randall. Bases full of Rebels after LSU got 2. And the top of the first. Randall goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. Both outs are strikeouts for Kason Evans.
And that's a big strikeout there. Certainly put the ball in play, give yourself a chance to score a run if you're Ole Miss. Evans gets the strikeout. Now an opportunity to get out of this inning with just the 2 runs.
Austin Foley looking for a 2-out base hit to give Ole Miss the lead in a 2-2 game. Foley takes that pitch off the plate, but it's called strike one. Count evens to the Rebels catcher.
Nice job by Cerna pulling that one back.
Two and one now to Foley. It's been a disappointing year at the plate for Austin Foley. 3 home runs on the season, 2 of them in SEC play. He had a huge swing, though, for Ole Miss in Game 3 against Kentucky. Hit a grand slam in that ball game, and now he's ahead 3-1 in the count. There is nowhere to put him.
Yeah, young man who hit, 21 home runs last year?
Yeah.
Just has not been the same.
Time was called by the home plate umpire, and he gives a warning to Kason Evans.
You have to let the hitter have eye contact with you before you come set. But you do get the 1 warning.
The 3-1. That's a strike. Nips the outside corner, and the count goes full now, and that will start the runners with the pitch. Furness at third, Federico at second, Golden at first. A full count pitch from Evans to Foley. Check swing, strike 3. And that ends the inning. Ole Miss leaves the bases loaded, but the Rebels tie it with a pair of runs of their own here in the first. This was in the SEC tournament semifinals a year ago. Neither Ole Miss Ole Miss LSU didn't play each other in the regular season. Cade Townsend was the pitcher in that game for Ole Miss. Rebels got a 2-0 win. LSU was the #1 seed in the tournament. They were trying to lock up being a top 8 national seed and had pitched their top 2 starters in the rotation in the game prior. And Ole Miss able to take advantage with a masterpiece from Cade Townsend, a Will Furniss home run, and a win that got them to the SEC tournament finals. Omar Cerna Jr. was left at the plate when Cade Arambidi was picked off at third base to end the first inning. So he will lead things off for LSU here in the second. Count evens at 1-1.
Yeah, that's a first inning both teams may look back at and think they left runs out there, right? LSU first and third. Gets the third out on a pickoff. Ole Miss bases loaded, 1 out. Unable to add on any more runs.
This ball here right in the middle of the infield, and that's the second who was shifted over, making the catch for the first out of the inning. Not that it affects anything for you. We're told that there was a fire alarm that went off in the visitors' locker room. I think the laundry room in LSU's locker room, and they've checked it out and everything's good and back to normal.
Fire department came, we've been told. They're here right now, maybe watching a little baseball after they made sure everything was good. I believe we lost PA and music for a little bit here. It's back. I can hear it.
I'm not sure I missed it. I mean, with all due respect to Glenn Waddle, the public address announcer, it's just like we're just playing ball. The ballpark, the way it used to be. There's Glenn Waddle, the PA announcer at Ole Miss football and
it's Glenn's ear.
Baseball for a long time. You're just going to have to trust me when I.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Interesting offensive timeout there from Jay Johnson with 1 out in the top of the second inning, calling Seth Dardar over. Dardar batting in the 8 hole. He's hitting .284 for the year, but he's got a .333 average in conference play. He takes high for ball 1.
And he's got to hit into the extreme shift. Ole Miss has moved shortstop Braden Randall over where the second baseman is. That is Dom Decker playing short right field.
Ball and a strike with 1 out, bases empty in the top of the second inning. Ole Miss and LSU, game 1 of this weekend's 3-game series, the start of week 5 in conference play. Weekend began last night with a couple of SEC games. You had Missouri and South Carolina meeting in Columbia, Missouri. South Carolina getting the road SEC win. Also had Oklahoma and Vanderbilt last night. Oklahoma had a lead that they carried about halfway through that ball game. This one hit sharply to Furniss at first, hugging the line there. You see maybe why that shift is on like it was, and Dardar is retired. Vanderbilt came from behind though, and a lot of offense late in the ball game got the win to take game 1 of the series with the Sooners.
Vandy playing offense a little different than we're used to seeing Tim Corbin's team play.
Hitting bombs.
Yes, they are. Did it again last night. You see them playing more small ball, putting pressure on you. They move those fences in, and right now they're hitting home runs.
John Pearson, the third baseman, batting in the 9 hole for LSU. Hunter Elliott trying to have a much easier second inning than he did first. Pearson from West Monroe. Sophomore with 6 home runs and 18 driven in. 3 of those 6 home runs have come in conference play.
And that's the pitch LSU wants to lay off of. That is Hunter Elliott's really his best pitch against right-handers. That changeup goes down and away. You start swinging at that one, it's going to be a long night offensively.
Cued foul, and the count goes a ball and 2 strikes. Nothing to do with the baseball game, but good news. The Army has splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. Welcome home, friends. What a trip they went on. Base is empty. A ball and 2 strikes to Pearson in the 9-hole. The 1-2 from Elliott. Popped up. Few steps onto the outfield. Grass. Dom Decker squeezes it, and LSU goes 1-2-3 in the top of the second. Tied as we continue in Oxford. Since 2023, you go back to the 2022 season, a pivotal 3-game sweep for Ole Miss. First time in program history, and was part of that hot streak that Ole Miss had late in the year that ultimately propelled them to a national championship. Then LSU swept Ole Miss in Oxford and went on to win it all in 2023. 2024, it was a sweep for LSU in Baton Rouge. All-time series record, 185-160 in favor of the Tigers. Date that a few people have circled on the calendar, September 19th.
Something going on here that day?
I'm told. You work in real estate. Surely you're aware.
I think there'll be a few people in Oxford.
Hey, Keith, know of anywhere I can stay? Big swing and a miss for Owen Pano, getting the start tonight as the DH. Poughkeepsie, New York for Owen Pano.
He's had some good at-bats lately. Colin Reuter struggling a bit against right-handed pitching, so Pano's going to get that start tonight at DH.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Pano as Kason Evans works quickly. Once you get that recognition from the hitter, alert and ready, I think it's the terminology that they use in the rule book, Evans is ready to go. Pano hits it high in the air to right field. Brown and Carriel going back to the wall. It's gone. First home run for Owen Pano, and Ole Miss goes for the first time tonight.
Ole Miss hunting the fastball. This is a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Kind of up in the zone, right? The very top of the strike zone. You're going to see Pano able to catch up to it. 106 miles an hour, went 382 feet. And Ole Miss has their first lead of the night.
Owen Pano in the 9-hole gets the solo home run. And the Rebels are in front 3-2. Now back to the top of the order, and Dom Decker, who singled on the first pitch he saw in his first at-bat.
Yeah, super aggressive approach for Ole Miss tonight against the fastball. Which I think has kind of been the theory the whole year.
How about that reaction from Clint Fagan toward the Ole Miss dugout, presumably in the direction of Mike Bianco. There's a breaking ball for strike two. My guess is it is the speed at which Evans is pitching. Batter has to be in the box, set and ready with 8 seconds remaining on the pitch clock that you see there on the left side of your screen.
Yeah, or sooner.
Or sooner. Has to be there
That's
by
correct.
8 seconds
That is
on the
correct.
pitch clock. Before the pitcher begins his windup, he must recognize that the hitter is alert and ready. They took out the whole eye contact language from the rule. Full count pitch to Decker. This one is hit into the shift on the right side. That's the second baseman, Dardar, played up the middle, and Decker is retired, first out of the inning.
And remember, they didn't have the shift on the first time Decker hit. Got that base hit through the 4-hole. Stephen Milam decided to stay the same spot. Going to play over there in the 4-hole. Keep Dardar in his normal position.
Tristan Bissetta got a base hit the opposite way out into left center field his first time up. Later scored on that strange play where the ball just bounced off of Cerna's glove back out toward the mound. 2 balls and no strikes now to Tristan Bissetta. And now the third baseman, Pearson, shifts back to where the shortstop would play if he was pulled up the middle.
Yeah, so there is no one on the left side now. When it got to 2-0, I think LSU deciding that Bissetta's not going to try to bunt at that point. Went ahead and took Pearson off the bag at third.
3 balls and a strike. Fastball just off the plate there. Actually was a pitch that, had he wanted to try to go the opposite way, might have been able to take it there. The 3-1 catches the corner, and that's strike 2. So watch Bissetta. So he's going to look at the ground, and when he acknowledges the pitcher, now Evans immediately goes into the windup, and he gets a swing and a miss. Good tight breaking ball there for strike 3.
Yeah, it looked like that was the slider. Good pitch right there by Evans. And part of the reason Evans looks like he's going so quickly, number one, he's clearly ready when Ole Miss hitters are ready, but then his motion is so quick. Like, there's not a big leg kick. I mean, there is no wasted motion at all. That ball gets to home plate in a hurry.
Swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Utermark. Solo home run to start the inning from Owen Pano. That's given Ole Miss a 3-2 lead. This ball away there. Utermark chasing out of the zone. Ball and 2 strikes as Judd Utermark climbs back in. He struck out his first time up already. 4 strikeouts for Kason Evans, and he's gotten Judd Utermark on strikes twice now. But Ole Miss with the 9-hole hitter at the plate. Leadoff man Owen Pano deposits a fastball over the right center field wall. Ole Miss in front, 3-2 after 2. Look at a numbers comparison between these two teams in conference play. LSU with the better offensive numbers overall, and they are one game better in the league in terms of the record at 6-6 compared to Ole Miss's 5-7. Top of the third, top of the order for LSU, and it's Chris Stanfield taking strike one. LSU got 2 runs in the top of the first inning on a 2-run home run from Jake Brown, his 14th of the year. 0-2. Ole Miss answered with back-to-back singles to start the first inning, an RBI single from Will Furness. And then Tristan Becerra came home to score on a passed ball, but not a passed ball that went to the backstop. This one on the ground, left side. Utermark dives for it, stops, throws a one-hopper, and it's past Furness at first base. Stanfield thinking about trying to go to second base, and he will do so after a little bit of hesitation. That's going to be a throwing error on Utermark, and we'll get Stanfield into scoring position.
Yeah, Utermark does a great job getting to this baseball. He moves so well to be a big guy over there at third base. You see him go to his left. Then maybe hurries a little bit on that throw. I think that and just eats up Furness with this throw. It's a tough one, and certainly going to be an error getting Stanfield to second. Looks like they're going to maybe give him a hit, then an error.
Okay. Not sure I understand that, because if the throw's caught at first base, he's out. Jake Brown, his first time up. It's the second pitch of the at-bat, hanging breaking ball, and he got all of it. Hit it out into the students beyond the right field wall, put LSU in front 2-0. Official scoring is singled to third base, advanced to second on a throwing error.
I think you see that sometimes. Guys dive, and so therefore they don't want to say you got to get up and make a good throw. The error allowed him to go to second.
Another offensive timeout taken by Jay Johnson.
His second here in the top of the third, or total of 2. As we reach the top of the third.
That meeting is over. LSU started conference play this year on the road against Vanderbilt. It was a tough opening weekend. They lost game 1 of that series 13-12. They were down big, came back, took the lead. Vanderbilt got a walk-off home run. And they lost 11-3 and salvaged 1 in the series. Throw out towards second. Ball and a strike to Jake Brown. They chased a good pitch there. Count goes to 1-2. That one had a lot of late run to it.
Yeah, that breaking ball starts middle of the plate and gets to the outside corner, actually off the outside corner. Pitch Brown hit for the home run earlier, basically ended up right down the middle.
The 1-2. Back to the same pitch, a little farther off the plate. Could not get Brown to chase there. Two-two. Skies this one out to shallow left field. Long run for Golden, and it's going to hit foul. Utermark made a diving effort. You see some frustration. I think he thought he should have caught it.
Yeah, in normal defensive alignment, that's going to be your shortstop that's got the best chance because that angle for the shortstop is a much easier play than either one of the other two guys. But when you're shifted, shortstop can't get there. So Udemark kind of at the last minute sees where it is, unable to get there. Probably still frustrated from the throw on the previous at bat by Stanfield. I'll try to make up for it right there with that play.
Stanfield at second, nobody out. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jake Brown. To his credit tonight, his 14th of the year, is 4th in conference play. 2-2. Now 3-2. Jake Brown, the junior from Sulphur, Louisiana, played at Sulphur High School. Strike 3 call. Brown goes away looking. Fastball at the bottom of the zone for the first out here in the top of the third.
And Brown has seen a steady diet of breaker balls. Looks like just can't pull the trigger right there on the fastball. Nice job by Austin Fawley.
Second strikeout tonight by Hunter Elliott. And that brings Cade Arambidi to the plate. Got a single his first time up. He takes strike 1. Arambidi, a catcher that's in the DH role tonight. Sophomore from Tomball, Texas. And he hits it in the air out to right field. Tristan Becerra going to settle and make the catch, and he'll send it back in for the second out of the inning. Stanfield moves up 90 feet over to third base, but 2 down. That might have been a home run in Knoxville last weekend, by the way.
It is a bit of a short porch in Knoxville. And we did see a couple of those 4 home runs were opposite field shots.
Now, one of them was off the face of the video board. He got all that, the grand slam late in the ball game.
You see a shot. Absolutely no wind blowing right now. And typically when it gets dark, the wind stops blowing quite as much, and it gets harder to hit the ball out kind of from gap to gap here.
Derek Curiel flew out to right his first time up. Curiel came into this game hitting .368 for the year. How about being a .368 hitter for the season with a better batting average in conference play? .380 in SEC play.
Yeah, very talented young man. Be a very high draft pick.
The 0-1. That one gets the corner, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. He won baseball's National Freshman of the Year a season ago. He was first-team freshman All-American. On the College World Series All-Tournament team. Puts this one in play on the right side, fielded by Decker. LSU strands a runner as Curiel is out 4-3. 3-2, Ole Miss leads it as we go to the bottom of the third. Big one in Bryan College Station this weekend. I would imagine that among A&M fans, emotions running fairly hot with Jim Schlossnagle back in Bryan College Station. Look at the preseason SEC standings. LSU picked atop the league, followed by Texas, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Auburn. And see where we are right now. Texas in that same spot. A&M currently tied for fourth with Mississippi State. And the Georgia Bulldogs, after sweeping Mississippi State in Starkville last weekend, they are on top of the SEC going into the fifth week of conference play.
I did not see that weekend coming. We saw State here the weekend before, looked really good playing Ole Miss. Go home, and Georgia handles them 3 in a row.
Will Furness with an RBI single in his first at bat of the ball game. Came with 2 strikes, just kind of poked it back up the middle to drive in a run.
Talked about Vandy hitting home runs. Georgia hit some home runs too. They're clobbering everybody in the home run race.
Furness fouls this one off. Has Georgia had 100 home runs yet? I don't know if they're quite there. They had a midweek win 28-3 over Presbyterian this week. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Furness holds up there. I think they hit 4 home runs in that game, which really doesn't seem like a huge number when you put 28 on the board. Foley Field, a ballpark where the ball really flies.
Yeah, I think they only hit 6 innings that night, too. There's a run rule in 7,
That's
so
right.
they didn't hit in the bottom of the 7th. Long night for the Presbyterian pitching coach.
Overall team ERA does not benefit.
It does not help the cause at all.
It was 28 earned runs also. Presbyterian didn't make an error in the game.
I stick by the fact it was a long bus ride home.
This one runs outside, and Will Furness draws the full count walk. Leadoff man aboard for Ole Miss here in the third. '98 home runs going into this weekend for Georgia. That is tops in the SEC. Vanderbilt is the next closest with 76. This LSU team, 4th most home runs in the league at 57. This bunt is popped up foul, but it hits the ground before Pearson can get there. Federico couldn't get it down. Ole Miss, only 5 sacrifice bunts this season. They have attempted it more than that.
Yeah, but neither one of these teams, that's certainly not a big part of the offense for either LSU or Ole Miss. Federico is one of the guys that will absolutely lay a bunt down.
Cerna's had a few go off his mid. Obviously, one of them more costly than the rest. On a fastball that just bounced about halfway back to the mound, Tristan Bissetta came home and scored in the first inning, tied the game at 2.
A fastball strike. Like
yes.
A fastball basically waist high.
Furness at first with Federico at the plate in a 1-1 count. Now 2-1. Georgia not only the leading home run hitting team in the SEC, they are the best hitting team in the conference with a .329 team average. Georgia will be here in Oxford last weekend of April. It's double-decker weekend. They will travel to Baton Rouge in week 9 of conference play. So both of these teams going to get a taste of the team that's currently on top of the SEC standings. 3-1 to Federico. There's a strike. And the count goes full. Federico on the ground, right side to second. Just in time, and the return throw at first for a double play. Furness did not slide into second base, just kind of stood right on the bag. And that's with a shift on.
Yeah, Furness is on the move, so you're trying to avoid the double play. And I think Furness just assumed there's not going to be a play at second. He does not slide. Super aggressive play by Milam. Throwing that ball to second base. Really was just expecting him to pick it up and throw it to first. Instead, he gets the double play. That is big-time defensive play.
This ball out into left field. Stanfield dives for it. Grimacing as he gets up, but he makes the catch. After leadoff man on base, Ole Miss nothing to show for it. 3-2 after 3. This LSU team came into tonight's game 22-12 overall, 6-6 in the SEC. They began the season 11-1 and really were swinging it well. The midweek and non-conference opponents, though, have not been kind to the Tigers. A loss to Northeastern, a loss to McNeese, a couple of losses to Sacramento State. Lost in the midweek this week to Bethune-Cookman, but they have won their last 2 SEC series. A lot of baseball still to play.
Yeah, certainly some uncharacteristic LSU losses, though, in their non-conference part of their schedule. Everybody's going to have a few of those where somebody sneaks up on you. LSU's had more than a couple.
First pitch strike to Stephen Milam, who struck out his first time up.
But your point's well taken. You play well enough on the weekends in this league, and the postseason opportunities present themselves.
Although the hill to climb for LSU to host in the postseason, which is certainly what LSU fans are used to. Alex Box, one of the great postseason venues. It's a long shot right now.
They've got some RPI work to do, that is for sure.
They are at 73 currently in the RPI. Now, this weekend in particular is a big one for LSU because they are on the road and they are taking on an Ole Miss team that is currently 13th in the RPI. And look, there will be lots of opportunities for LSU to improve that RPI resume as they go through the SEC. Swing and a miss for the second time tonight. Milam chases an elevated fastball and goes down swinging.
Yeah, basically a copy of the first at bat. That one's even higher than the first one he swung and missed at. And there's no chance to catch up to that one.
Gorgeous evening in Oxford, Mississippi, as the sun has set beyond the third base stands off in the west.
That's a pretty shot right there. Goodness.
This ball out into left center field, and that's going to split the outfielders. Long run for Federico as it goes all the way to the wall, and Mason Braun has a 2-hit night. He cruises into second with a stand-up double.
Pretty much the same thing Braun did last at bat.
He's had 2 good at bats tonight.
Stayed back, drove that ball to left center, just like his previous at bat. This one gets all the way to the wall, so gets the double. Gets himself in scoring position, tie and run for LSU with 1 out.
Omar Cerna Jr. popped out his first time up. Hunter Elliott steps off. He can do that 1 time during the at-bat. Cerna takes inside for ball 1. It's not the 21st start of the year for Cerna. On the ground to third, and that eats up Judd Utermark off his chest, kicks out into left field. Golden will pick it up and throw it back in. That ball got on Utermark in a hurry, kind of handcuffed him, and he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest parts about playing third base. Not only does the ball get to you quickly, you just don't get to read hops very well. You kind of have to catch what you get. He gets that second hop, and that second hop's always going to have overspin. It's going to jump at you, and that time Utermark unable to make the play. Utermark has been fantastic defensively this season for Ole Miss. A couple of tough plays here early tonight.
5 errors on the year coming into this ball game.
I don't think they've put anything up. I would think that one has to be an error. It's not an easy play, but it goes right at you. And I'm going to be wrong. They call it a hit.
I'm sure Omar Cerna appreciates that. First pitch strike to Seth Dardar, who was showing bunt. You had Utermark charging on the play. So a couple of hits in the inning for LSU. They had 3 in the first, had a hit in the third. Milam struck out to start the inning. Braun doubled out into left center field, got to third on the ground ball by Cerna. A couple of times in this at bat, you've seen Dardar show bunt.
Yeah, if you bunt this ball down the first baseline, it's going to score the run because Furness is holding the run around. He can't really charge. So you bunt that ball down the first baseline, it's pretty much a for sure run. Obviously, Utermark able to come in hard at third.
Squares to bunt again, and he pops it up. Foul over toward the Ole Miss dugout, and it's actually going to hit the net. It stretches around to the corner of the dugout and protects the fans behind home plate.
Dardar was trying to get that ball down the first baseline. You could see that bad angle. And again, it's a great play with men at first and third. But you got to execute it. Won't be bunting here with 2 strikes.
Dardar, the Kansas State transfer. The 1-2. That one close. Certainly the Ole Miss fans thought it got the corner.
Austin Foley, one of the best in the country at getting these pitches. You see, barely pulls that back in. It was off the plate. It was barely off the plate.
Two balls and two strikes. This one up and in. You've seen Major League Baseball go to the ABS system, the challenge system on balls and strikes. Do you foresee that ever being part of college baseball?
You would think so. I mean, certainly that seems to be. It's just going to be whether, depending on what level you're at, do you have the money to put that system in place? Obviously, all these SEC schools got the TrackMan system.
Full count. Fouled away.
It's certainly been a hit in Major League Baseball this year. Crowds have enjoyed seeing the umpires.
So the crowds have liked it. I think the players have liked it.
I don't think the home plate umpires have cared much for it, though. Is that where we're going with that? It's got to be bad standing there.
There is a party.
And there's been a couple that have badly missed, and can't be fun standing there looking at the big scoreboard.
Full count once again. Strike three called. Hunter Elliott paints the outside corner.
Yeah, and velocity-wise, best fastball of the night for Hunter Elliott. That was 93 miles an hour. You said painted. He absolutely did. It's a big second out right there for Ole Miss.
4 strikeouts now for Hunter Elliott. Gave up the 2 runs in the first inning. Had a clean second inning. Gave up a leadoff single in the third. Double and a single from Braun and Cerna, but now John Pearson at the plate, and Elliott a chance to get out of the inning with no damage. Pearson has other thoughts. He goes after the first pitch, swings through it for strike 1.
Yeah, that's the changeup. It is such a good pitch to right-handed hitters for Hunter Elliott. So difficult for the hitter to lay off. I mean, it looks like a fastball. The arm speed is excellent. Hitter identifies fastball, and you swing, and the ball's just not to home plate.
And he chases an elevated fastball. The count goes no balls and 2 strikes on Pearson. In 27 games a year ago as a freshman, he hit .238, making his 19th start of the season tonight. He's hitting .270 this year. 8 career home runs. 6 of them in this sophomore season. But not right here. He goes down swinging. With runners at the corners, back-to-back strikeouts from Hunter Elliott. Ole Miss in front, 3-2. Alongside Keith Kessinger, Richard Cross with you as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's an Ole Miss team that started at 16-0 at home this year, an all-time record. 5 wins against top 25 opponents, and then got a series win against the Florida Gators last weekend in Gainesville. First time they had won a series in Gainesville since 2009. Ole Miss 5-7 through 4 weeks of conference play. Braden Randall leading off for Ole Miss here in the bottom of the 4th. Fouls this one down the first baseline. Randall struck out swinging his first time up. Ole Miss got 2 runs in the first, a solo home run in the second from Owen Pano in the 9-hole. Furness drew a full count walk to start the 3rd inning, but you got a double play and a fly out to end it. Cerna, it has not been clean behind home plate tonight. Just tossing the ball out to the mound a second ago, was off Evans' glove, rolled out to shortstop, had to get a new baseball, and a 2-1. Well, that was clean by Evans. Count goes to 2-2. Got a swing and a miss there. Strike 3 called, back-to-back fastballs at the knees. That one came in at 92, and that's another punch out for Kason Evans.
Braden Randall just couldn't pull the trigger.
You mentioned earlier that Ole Miss at times has had trouble going after fastballs with 2 strikes.
Yeah, I know it's been a frustration to the Ole Miss coaching staff, the number of 3rd strikes that Ole Miss has taken, particularly with men on base. Certainly the first few innings tonight, Ole Miss much more aggressive on fastballs.
Out of 10 recorded outs for Evans so far, 6 are strikeouts tonight. Foley hits this ball high out to right field, but shallow. Jake Brown has to wait for a while to this one to come down. 2 out in the inning. That's 4 in a row retired since the leadoff walk to Furness in the 3rd. First pitch strike to Owen Pano. Had a solo home run his first time up. Changeup just kind of floats there. This is off the plate. Swing and a miss there. Count 2-2. Owen Pano had 1 home run a year ago as a freshman. And he goes down swinging there. Well, that was an impressive inning for Kason Evans. He's now got 7 strikeouts through 4.
conference tournament, all of college baseball.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Let's get to Hoover. May 19th is when the SEC tournament begins. All 16 teams will be there, a single elimination format. Bounce around the SEC tonight. That Georgia team that leads the SEC finds themselves in a 6-run hole in the bottom of the 9th inning at Foley Field. Florida trying to take game 1 in Athens. Tennessee and Mississippi State tied at 3 in Starkville in the top of the 7th. Auburn has opened things up against Kentucky. Won the series at home last weekend against Arkansas. They're up 10-2, and not a lot of offense in the Battle of the Columbias. Bama in front of Arkansas. Oklahoma was down 9-5. They've tied it up, and Texas, the early lead in Bryan College Station.
Got offense in Nashville, 9-9 in the 4th.
You said Vandy's playing a little bit different than they have.
Yes, a little gorilla ball.
Stanfield to the plate for the 3rd time tonight. He's been on base twice, a walk and a single. He's had an error happen on base or in the process of reaching base and has gotten to second. Scored a run in the 1st. Top of the 5th inning, and he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Richard Cross, Keith Kessinger with you on an absolutely gorgeous Friday night. Early April. The pitch there, and the count evens at 2-2 to Chris Stanfield. Big crowd as you would anticipate all weekend long. It's a piece to stay alive there. Matt Lewis got the grill going out there. Not many empties tonight.
I was going to say, not a lot of blue seats in that shot.
Another 2-2.
Good at bat by Stanfield, taking a couple of close pitches, fouled off the good changeup that Elliott's used to getting guys swing and miss at. Quality AB.
Nobody throwing in the Ole Miss bullpen, but with Hunter Elliott at 72 pitches, you've got guys that are starting to move around and begin to get loose. Stanfield in the air, out to right. Becerra toward the gap, reaches up and makes the catch, and Stanfield is retired for the first time tonight. Landon Waters and Will Libbert both moving around in the bullpen. Game 1 last week against Florida, Ole Miss went Hunter Elliott, Hudson Calhoun. I think Landon Waters pitched in that game, and Walker Hooks did as well. This one fouled off.
I think Calhoun's stirring down in the bullpen as well right now. There you see him with the bands, number 23.
Hudson Calhoun slid into a starting role for a weekend when Ole Miss was without Cade Townsend. Townsend slated to throw tomorrow for the Rebels, with Taylor Rabe getting the start in Game 3. And the transition of the bullpen for Will Libbert seems to have been pretty good so far.
Fantastic, yeah. Just wasn't really getting it done as that Sunday starter for Ole Miss, and it's been fantastic out of the bullpen. Likewise, Taylor Rabe's been pretty good coming from the bullpen and now starting on the weekend. We'll see him on Sunday.
Jake Brown had the 2-run home run in the 1st inning. He's counted for all of LSU's runs so far. Big swing and a miss from Brown there, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now with 2 strikes, Judd Utermark moves from his third base position up the middle to where a shortstop would be playing. And Brown goes down swinging. Second time he struck out tonight, looking in the third, and now swinging here in the fifth. They're 2 down.
Yeah, this is the slider. Again, kind of starts on the inner half, breaks to the outer half, gets Brown out front. Brown got the best of Elliott in the first when that ball was up in the zone. Elliott gets the best of Brown here with the ball down in the zone.
6 strikeouts now for Hunter Elliott. He walked the leadoff man of the game, Chris Stanfield. Did it on 5 pitches. Has not walked anybody since. And he delivers a first pitch strike to Aaron Beatty. Single in the first for Cade Aaron Beatty and a fly out to right. In the third, he's 1 for 2 tonight. And he's behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes here. Elliott shakes one off, then nods the head. The 0-2. To try the elevated fastball. May have been a little more elevated than he would have liked. Now down and in. Base is empty. 2 ball, 2 strike count with 2 outs in the top of the fifth. Ole Miss in front by a run, 3-2. Handcuffed him, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8. Beg your pardon, number 7 for Hunter Elliott. Rebels in front, halfway home in Oxford.
BK, ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv.
So all out-of-market games, live or on demand, plus all your favorite sports on ESPN. We need to tell the people, Carl.
We're doing it right now.
ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv. All out-of-market games, live or on demand, all in one place.
Back with you in Oxford at Swayze Field. Game 1 between Ole Miss and LSU. 2 of the 4 teams that won a national championship in the last 5 years. It was Mississippi State in 2021, then Ole Miss the following year. LSU won it in Jay Johnson's first year, 2023, and then again in 2025. It was actually his second year, wasn't it? It was year 2 for Jay Johnson at LSU. Beg your pardon. Dom Decker, top of the order to start things off for Ole Miss in the 5th inning. I guess it was 2021 when Ole Miss played in a super regional out in Tucson against Arizona. Arizona got game 1 and game 3. This one chopped to first, fielded there by Braun. He'll step on the bag to beat Decker for the first out of the inning. Visited with Jay Johnson before the game tonight, LSU's head coach. His catcher on that Arizona team, Daniel Susak, and you may remember him as the really tall catcher, 6'5". Just made his major league debut in the last week and a half. And
He was a proud coach, former player. He was very happy for him. By the way, don't look now, but Evans 10 in a row retired since the solo home run back in the second.
85th pitch. How about fastest ever to get multiple titles at a single school? Twice in 4 years. Seems good.
That's your commentary? Seems good.
Doesn't it to you?
Oh, yeah. As a former Division I coach, it seems better than good. Like fairly incredible.
I said he was the first ever to do that.
Good. It was good. I agree. It was good.
Maybe even quite good. Good visit with Jay Johnson. We're chatting with him. There's a swing and a miss. Pacetta goes down on strikes.
I said 10 in a row. There was actually a walk in there. Then Furness was erased by a double play. So
2 double-digit strikeout games this season for Evans. He had 10 against Dartmouth back in non-conference play, and then he had 15 against Oklahoma. He's gotten 2 tonight against Judd Utermark. Has 8 in total. Swing and a miss there, and the count goes to 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Boy, Kason Evans just continues to work quickly. As soon as the hitter is recognizing that he is ready, Evans is ready to go as well. That one close. 3-1 now to Utermark. Got him with the off speed there. And you made the point earlier, it's not just that he's working fast, it's a really quick delivery.
Correct. Yeah, it gets on you really super quick as a hitter, which makes that breaking ball so effective. Because as a hitter, your natural reaction is to kind of jump at a pitcher that's jumping at you. Hard to stay back. He also's got that 93, 95 mile-an-hour fastball.
Utermark gets this one off the end of the bat out into shallow right field, and it's the shortstop Milam that comes all the way across and makes the catch. Hunter Elliott, one of 4 players from the SEC to be named Preseason first-team All-American by D1 Baseball. Got another one in Derek Carriel, center fielder, highly thought of by scouts. You mentioned earlier going to be a high draft pick. Really does a lot of things exceptionally well.
Yeah, the swing is just so easy. Like, it's just effortless through the zone with some pop. A couple of preseason All-Americans facing each other in the 6th here in a one-run ball game. By the way, neither one of these guys are thinking about the preseason All-American list right now at all.
Those other two guys that you saw there on the screen, pretty good also. Out into center field, slicing away from Federico, but he's able to run it down in the gap for the first out of the inning. Number 18, Texas A&M, and number 24, LSU play the second game of a big 3-game series next Saturday night in Baton Rouge. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. So be sure to grab the calendar on your phone and mark that for 8 days from now. You said neither of those guys thinking about All-Americans right now. I don't think Texas A&M's thinking about LSU next Saturday night quite yet either.
Nor is LSU thinking about A&M. Agreed. But you did a nice job reading the promo. Well done. Next Saturday night.
Yeah.
8 o'clock Eastern.
That's why I said you might want to put that on your calendar.
Absolutely.
Just want to get you ready for all the great action in the SEC. 1-0. Milam takes a strike. Let me clean up a mess from the end of the inning. I said Stephen Milam came across and made that catch. It was actually Dardar. LSU had the shift on. He was played up the middle. Milam had moved over, and Dardar came a long way over and made the catch. So get that right. I didn't think it looked right as they were running off the field, and I looked at you. I was like, eh. You're like, yeah, it was Dardar. I was like, well, thanks.
Well, I wasn't going to correct you as we were going to commercial.
Probably should have.
The out was the out.
If everybody would just play their position.
It does make it harder when no one's standing where they're supposed to be standing.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Stephen Milam.
We had a 6-4-3 double play tonight that was hit to the right side of the infield.
I think I got that one right.
You did get that one right.
Lifted in the air down the right field line. Long run for everybody. Looks like Dom Decker was there, but had it fall just past his glove. He'll send it back into first base, and Stephen Milam will reach safely. That ball was fair by a foot, maybe a couple, and got there, tried to reach back, and couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, just overruns it. He's the right guy. He's got the best angle at this ball. If Becerra can't get there, and you can see Becerra just gives up. He doesn't think he's going to get there, and a ball from the right-handed bat, it's going to spin back towards the field. Decker just overruns it. Milam will take the cheap base hit.
Runner at first with 1 down. First hit of the night for Stephen Milam. Said a foot or two. I guess it ended up being more like 6 or 7 feet.
Decker was standing a foot or two from the line. Ball just landed back behind him. And Braun, we've seen him a couple times tonight. Stay back, drive that ball to left center field. Federico shaded a little bit that way this at bat. Center fielder for Ole Miss.
This one gets the outside corner for strike 1. Singled the opposite way for Braun in the first inning. 4th inning, drove it into the left center field gap. Look over at first at Stephen Milam. So when in game do you go, we're going to adjust based on what we've seen tonight versus what our scouting report told us coming in?
I mean, certainly depending on how confident you are in your pregame scouting report, usually it's going to take more than a couple of at-bats. But I would say when a guy takes 2 straight pitches, hits it almost exactly the same spot, kind of hard not to shift your center fielder over a little bit that direction. And sometimes guys just hit it where they're not, you know? You can't scouting report everything. You only got 8 guys out there playing defense in front of home plate.
Check swing, not able to hold up, and the count goes no balls and 2 strikes now on Mason Braun. One down in the inning, and again checking in on Milam at first base. LSU 31 of 39 on the season. These two teams very similar in that they run a little, pretty selective, pretty situational when they do so. Milam has been caught 3 times. He's 2 of 5 trying to steal this year. Full count, or excuse me, the 1-2, and it's popped up left side of the infield. Randall calls off Utermark and everybody else and makes the grab for the second out of the inning.
That ball's a mile high right there. Entire Ole Miss defense converged on that one.
Omar Cerna Jr. Cerna 1 for 2 tonight. Popped out in the second inning, had a single in the 4th. Ole Miss with a shift on against Cerna, all 3 infielders on the left side of the bag, and Cerna just hits it right over the head of all of them, down toward the left field corner. It's picked up by Golden. Milan goes first to third. And LSU has runners at the corners with 2 down, the tying run 90 feet away.
This ball's down in the zone. Cerna just goes down and gets it. Pulls that ball on the outside corner and yanks it down the third base line. I'm not really sure how Cerna's not standing on second base, though. Nice job by Golden getting to it. Certainly able to keep Milam from scoring, but I think Ole Miss was conceding the double right there.
Ole Miss going to have a meeting on the mound. 95 pitches for Hunter Elliott. Joe Mangrum clapping as he goes out. That was almost a, I'm going to make a change, but Joel Mangrum doesn't do that.
I was going to say, we know the change isn't coming because he is not the guy that makes the change. See the 7 strikeouts, just the 1 walk tonight.
Leadoff man in the ballgame.
And this is where Elliott is typically his best and has been his best tonight. Runners in scoring position.
As the right-hander Landon Waters getting loose, the left-hander Will Libbert getting loose. How much importance is there for Will Libbert as a former starter to start with a clean inning?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And typically a guy that has not pitched out of the bullpen very much, it is easier if you don't come in that way. But some guys like to kind of thrive on that adrenaline of men on base. And I would think pretty much every pitcher would rather start out there with nobody on base.
2 down in the inning. Milam, who represents the tying run, stands at third base. Omar Cerna is at first. And Seth Dardar is at the plate. 0 for 2 with a ground out to Furness at first base and a strikeout looking. Dardar's got a little pop in the bat. 5 home runs on the year. He's driven in 25. Big RBI opportunity for him. LSU looking for a 2-out base hit. Dardar not able to hold up there. Behind in the count, no balls and a strike.
Ole Miss with that exaggerated shift. Braden Randall, the shortstop, playing second. Udemark playing in short right field. Big hole on the left side.
One and one in the dirt, throw to second, and it's right back to Elliott. He just kind of snared it out of the air.
That throw was supposed to go to second. That was not intended for Elliott to catch it. That was absolutely supposed to go to second.
But when it was thrown, Cerna kind of froze. He was willing to try and get into a rundown.
Yeah, he was going to stop. And you can see this throw is not, I mean, Elliott's not supposed to catch that ball.
If he recognizes that Cerna stops a little sooner, maybe he goes ahead and makes the throw to second.
Yeah, I wish he was going to try to get in a rundown, try to steal the run.
Two in scoring position for LSU. A ball and a strike with 2 outs in the inning. Left on left matchup with Dardar at the plate. There's strike 2. Dardar hit .326 at Kansas State last year with 18 doubles and 13 home runs. Ole Miss fans coming to their feet. Hunter Elliott looking for one more strikeout. The 1-2. On appeal, he went around. Strike 3 called. Dardar goes down on strikes. Hunter Elliott strands a pair, and Ole Miss takes a 1-run lead to the bottom of the 6th.
Dardar just can't hold up on this breaking ball. Ole Miss gets the call. Dardar not happy with the call, and I'm not sure he wasn't right. That was close. Rebels still have the lead.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Ole Miss in front by a run. Game 1 of this 3-game series between the Rebels and the LSU Tigers, a top 25 matchup. First pitch for Will Furniss, and he grounds it to his counterpart at first base. That's Braun, who steps on the bag. And there is one away. Nine straight retired by Kason Evans. He gave up the leadoff home run to Pano in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Retired the next 3 that he faced. Leadoff walk in the 3rd, and since then, 9 in a row retired. Hayden Federico, part of that 9. He hit into a double play, and LSU defends him the exact same way. The second baseman, Dardar, is in basically his normal position as Federico takes strike 1 and showed bunt. And that's Stephen Milam, the shortstop, who's about half a dozen steps away from the first baseman, who's basically standing on top of the line. And they hit Federico. So that snaps the string of 9 in a row. And we'll bring Cannon Golden to the plate.
Ole Miss doesn't run a lot, but Federico is one of the Ole Miss guys that will steal. Four for 4 on the season.
Infield coming in as Evans sits on 99 pitches for the ball game.
Zach Cowan, right-hander, throwing for LSU in the bullpen.
Cowan's got 8 appearances on the year. Jay Johnson maybe checking in with his bullpen to make sure they're ready to go. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, couple of walks, and 8 strikeouts tonight for Kason Evans. I mean, he has been on cruise control for the last 3 innings. So the right-hander Evans facing the left-hander Golden. But first a throw to first. .110 is the season high in pitches for Evans. He threw 110 against Oklahoma. This is up and away there on his 100th pitch of the ball game.
Certainly feels like we're nearing the end for Evans. He's really been outstanding, certainly since the home run to Pano back in the second. Ole Miss has mounted very little offense.
Rebels have 5 hits in the ball game. 4 of them came in the first inning.
4 of the first 5 hitters.
Yeah. You feel like Evans made a significant change to what he was doing?
Yeah, sometimes guys just settle in. Again, you just get out here. It's a lot of adrenaline going. It's a mound he's not used to throwing on. And sometimes, you know, the other team's trying too, and Ole Miss had some good at-bats early.
Two and 1 now to Golden. Cannon Golden drew a walk in the first inning. Flew out to left in the third. Golden, the freshman out of Buford, Georgia. He's a 2-time high school All-American. Won a state championship in football in high school as well. He is from a stick and ball family. He has 2 sisters, big-time softball players as well. His one sister's committed to play softball at Oklahoma State, and one is the #1 softball recruit in the 2029 class. 2-2, and Golden strikes. That is the 9th strikeout of Kason Evans.
Yeah, another off-speed pitch. That looks like that's probably the splitter right there. Ball runs down and away. It's kind of run out of bat. You start swinging, the ball just fades. Just can't stay on it long enough. One of the pitches that makes Evans so difficult to handle is that split finger.
Feel like the night is probably over for Hunter Elliott, and feels like this is probably the last inning for Kason Evans. Likely to be bullpens the rest of the way as we move toward the 7th. Ole Miss batting with 2 outs and a runner at first here in the bottom of the 6th with a 1-run lead. Randall 0 for 2 tonight with a pair of strikeouts, hitting coming into tonight's game, .218. You see the average has dropped just a touch. A shift on Randall. I think he might have been thinking the opposite way there as he fouled it back. Evans keeping an eye on Federico. You mentioned stolen base earlier in the at-bat. You like the idea with 2 outs and a couple of strikes?
Yeah, you certainly feel like this would be the chance if you're going to run. This is when you would take that opportunity.
On the ground, and the throw is going to be to first. Kind of a sidearm release there. Good scoop at first by Brown. 3-2 after 6. Hunter Elliott's night is done for Ole Miss. The start to the game was not great. A leadoff walk and then a 2-run home run from Jake Brown, but not too shabby.
That kind of classic Hunter Elliott. Settled in, makes big pitches, pitches himself out of trouble. Showing some excitement leaving the field, and you see him sitting in the dugout. He's given his team the chance to win this game tonight as Ole Miss leads 3-2.
Scattered 8 hits, 6 innings of work, 2 earned runs allowed, the 1 walk and 8 strikeouts, and he will hand it off now to Landon Waters out of the bullpen. The right-hander making his 13th appearance of the year. Minuscule ERA of 0.75.
Fastball in the mid-90s, occasionally even a little bit better than that. A couple of different breakables, kind of almost a cutter slider that he throws harder than what I would call the traditional slider that has a little more depth to it.
Mike Bianco has handled the bullpen Friday night role in a lot of different ways in his career. He's had guys where it's like, hey, go get me 3 outs, and then we'll hand it off to the next guy, and then you've got a defined closer at the end. He certainly has had guys, and in a lot of ways, Hudson Calhoun was filling that role where it was, hey, we want to hand it off from our Friday night starter to a guy who's got a chance to take it the rest of the way.
4 innings, whatever that was, correct.
Did that with Mason Morris a couple of years ago. 9-hole hitter to start things off against Landon Waters. It's John Pearson, and the pitch misses for ball 1. Opens him with a breaking ball.
It was hard to do it better than Mason Morris did it last year. He was really phenomenal coming in and getting as many outs as needed and finish games.
2-0 to the 9-hole hitter John Pearson, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Pop out and a strikeout for Pearson. All of the runs in this ball game came in the first 2 innings. That one just missed off the corner. Three-ball count. It's not what you want to do. You don't want to walk the first guy you face out of the bullpen, especially to lead off an inning when you start the inning clean.
Especially when it's a one-run game.
And it's the 9-hole hitter. There's a strike. 3-1. All of those things.
Yeah, there was several things piling onto each other. Interesting to see. Does Jay Johnson give Pearson the hit, or does he have him take here? Make Waters throw another strike.
The 3-1. Way off. And it's a 5-pitch walk to start the inning for John Pearson. Got our first couple of finals tonight in the SEC. Florida a winner on the road in Athens against number 4 Georgia. Gives Georgia just its 3rd SEC loss.
Yeah, Aiden King with a 3-hitter for Florida tonight.
8-2 the final in that ball game. South Carolina wins the series against Missouri. Got a win last night, and tonight a 1-0 victory for the Gamecocks over the Missouri Tigers. Arkansas with a 7-3 lead over red-hot Alabama in Tuscaloosa. That game's in the top of the 8th inning. Game here in Oxford. Top of the order, Chris Stanfield. Another pitch misses off the plate. Everything has been glove side away for Landon Waters. Single in the first with a run scored for Stanfield. Single in the third, and he was stranded at third. Flew out when he batted in the 5th. So 2 hits tonight for Chris Stanfield, and again, just off the plate. 2-0.
And when you miss early, sometimes you don't get those 50-50 calls. Good take by Stanfield.
Right on right matchup with a runner at first and nobody down in a 1-run game, top of the 7th. There's a strike, center cut fastball. Stanfield probably in a spot where he was taking there.
Certainly looked like it, didn't it?
Ole Miss defense playing straight up all the way around against Chris Stanfield. Left fielder had a diving catch earlier in the ball game tonight. He takes high for ball 3, 3-1.
And these are some of the most difficult calls in the dugout, right? Because it's 3-1. You want your guy to be aggressive. He's going to get a good pitch to hit and swing it. But you got a guy struggling to throw strikes. Part of you wants him to take. These are always the ones that kind of put a knot in your stomach.
3 balls and a strike. The pitch. There's strike 2.
And obviously, Johnson's decision was take, because that was certainly one you would expect Stanfield to have swung at.
How much different does 3-1 versus 3-2 feel as a hitter?
Well, especially when you have to take one like that. That's such a good pitch. Sometimes it's hard as a hitter because you know that's one you probably could have taken a good swing at. And you may not get a fastball right here either.
Full count from Waters. Stanfield able to foul it off to stay alive.
Yeah,
good defensive swing there.
Does get a fastball. Waters has been able to locate the fastball better than the off speed so far tonight. Obviously, Ole Miss does not want to walk 2 straight hitters, so typically going with the pitch you think you have the best chance to throw a strike.
So we'll do it again. The full count. This one put on the ground foul wide of the bag at first.
Yeah, that may have been off the plate away right there. Stanfield thinks it's a little too close. He's able to poke that fastball just foul. the flip side of whether you take or not is what pitch you throw here, right? If you're Joel Mangrum, feel like you throw a breaking ball, you got a chance for a swing and miss, but you sure don't want to walk the guy, and Waters has had trouble locating the breaking ball.
Full count, and it's high. That's ball 4. That is back-to-back walks to start the 7th inning. Ole Miss came into this inning with a 1-run lead, a leadoff walk to the 9-hole Pearson, and then Stanfield battles.
So Jake Brown has 1 sacrifice bunt on the season, as Mike Bianco is going to head out towards the mound, and that is going to do it for Landon Waters.
He's got 1 sacrifice bunt. He's also got 14 home runs, including 1 tonight. So Ole Miss going back to the bullpen. My signal for the lefty. So Will Libbert is going to come into a bit of a mess. I'm sorry, it's Walker Hooks, not Libbert. Hooks, who pitched a couple of times last weekend for Ole Miss. Top of the 7th inning. Couple of runners on for LSU. Ole Miss in front, 3-2. Walker Hooks into the ball game, making his 12th appearance of the year. Numbers good, 2-0, 2.77. Then you get down to those strikeout to walk numbers. Those are off the charts good.
Yeah, no doubt. That's 33-6. That 5-to-1 ratio, very, very good. Fastball low 90s, slider, changeup. Changeup's really good pitch. Also has a bit slower kind of curveball. He has been really good and was fantastic last weekend in the Florida series.
Pitched twice on Thursday night in game 1, 2 innings and an earned run. Picked up the save, came back on Saturday night, worked the final 2 1/3, and was the winning pitcher in the ball game for Ole Miss. Tomorrow afternoon, game 2 of the 3-game softball series between number 7 Florida and number 24 South Carolina comes your way on the SEC Network. That's at 3 Eastern. Sunday's finale is a 1 Eastern start on the SEC Network Plus. All games also available on the ESPN app. Alongside Keith Kessinger and our entire SEC Network crew, I'm Richard Cross. Glad to be with you. Swayze Field in Oxford on this Friday night. Is that Rory?
Don't think so.
Rory deserves a good meal and a good night's sleep tonight. 12 under par, leading the Masters after 2 rounds by 6 shots. Won the Career Grand Slam a year ago. 6th in professional golf history to do that. Pretty elite group.
Brown did show bunt right there on the pick. This left-on-left matchup. Wouldn't shock me if that's what he decided to do. Try to get the tying run to third, winning, or the go-ahead run at second.
Instead, he takes a strike. Pearson at second base, Stanfield at first, nobody out. Back-to-back walks off of Landon Waters out of the bullpen. Brown shows bunt, pulls back, and takes strike 2. Boy, look at that number with runners in scoring position, hitting .388 on the year. Really good for Jake Brown. 45 driven in on the season. He He pops this up on the infield. Randall retreat catch for the first out of the inning. There was a signal for infield fly, even though that ball ended up in the grass. That's at the umpire's discretion, so it's going to be an out regardless. But a big out there of Jake Brown. And now Cade Arrambide, 1 for 3 with a single in the first. Since then, a fly out and a strikeout. The fly out back in the third inning hit the opposite way. LSU's going to go pinch runner right now. They're going to pull Pearson out at second base and get a little more speed on the base paths with William Patrick. The 1-0, and Brooks gives a look out to second base, but no throw. Wow. Close pitch there. Count goes to 2-0. Arrambide had the monster game against Tennessee in the series finale last weekend. He swings and foul tips it there for strike one. 5 for 6 in the ball game, 4 home runs. First LSU player ever with a 4 home run game. It's also the 4th in SEC history to do that. Two and two. Do you happen to know the other 3 guys in SEC history that had 4 home runs in a game?
Do not.
One you probably should know. Hooks with a look out to second base, the 2-2. This one misses down low. Bill Sandry at Kentucky did it in 1982. In 2015, J.J. Schwartz at Florida had a 4 home run game. And in 2023, Ole Miss's Calvin Harris had a 4 home run game.
Sure did.
Arrambide with a full count. Runners on first and second. 1 down in the inning. 1-run game in the top of the 7th. The pitch hit sharply on the ground. Off the glove of Utermark at third. Everybody's going to be safe. Judd Utermark has been as steady can be at third base this season long. Tonight has been tough for him.
Yeah, just having a tough night. And again, this hop the ball just kind of eats him up. He catches that. That's going to be a double play. That ball's hit hard enough. Ole Miss is going to be able to turn 2 on that. Instead, Ole Miss doesn't get anybody out. And LSU exactly where they want to be. Curiel at the plate. Bases loaded. Real opportunity right here in the top of the 7th.
That is Ole Miss's 3rd error of the game. Derek Curiel 0 for 3. Fly out, ground out, fly out. Tying run is at third base. That's now William Patrick. Go-ahead run, Stanfield out at second base. Curiel takes strike 1. Curiel last year as a freshman hit .345. 7 home runs, 55 runs batted in. The 1-1. It's now 2-1. Nothing across yet for LSU, but all of the base runners Ole Miss is doing. Pair of walks from Landon Waters to start the inning. Pitching change. You get a pop out from Jake Brown. And then with a chance to possibly get a double play to end out of the inning, Utermark can't field it cleanly at third. And LSU has the bases loaded. There's strike two to Curiel. A lot of options here for Walker Hooks. The left-on-left matchup, the 2-2. Out into center field. Federico moving back. He'll make the catch shy of the track and send it back in. But LSU with a sacrifice fly ties the game. Patrick comes home to score. And Curiel picks up his 37th RBI of the year. And that was actually Brett Mosley out in center field that made the catch there.
Yeah, good piece of hitting by Curiel right there. Gets the ball up in the zone, knows if he gets a fly ball, they're going to tie the ball game. Actually hit that ball really well. Almost to the warning track in center. We are tied at 3.
So Ole Miss with a couple of defensive changes. They've sent Federico to left field. Golden is out of the game. And you've got Mosley now in center. And there's a first pitch ball to Stephen Milam. So Ole Miss defensively now. Federico in left, Mosley in center. You've still got Tristan Becerra in right. Milam got a single in his last at bat. He hit that high pop fly down the right field line that Dom Decker overran. The 1-1 in the dirt, 2-1. Stanfield at third, Aaron Beatty at first. 2 down in the inning. Hunter Elliott will not factor into the decision now for Ole Miss. This one fouled off, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So after 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, and a walk, Hunter Elliott, no chance to get the win. Not going to take a loss tonight. Two balls and 2 strikes to Milam. Swung out swinging on, struck out swinging on elevated fastballs. Gets a piece of this one to stay alive. Do you go back to the well and try and get him to chase up again?
Yeah, Hook's not throwing the ball quite as hard as what we saw out of Elliott, but it certainly has been a spot to get Milam tonight. I would anticipate maybe change up down here.
3-3 game in the top of the 7th. The 2-2. This one runs inside and the count goes full. Mason Braun waits on deck for LSU. He's got a couple of hits in the game tonight. LSU 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Ole Miss 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors. Runner goes, full count pitch, lifted out into center field. Mosley retreating, still going back, reaches up and makes the catch a step into the warning track. LSU strands a couple, but the Tigers tied up at 3. It's time to stretch. Kason Evans' night is done. Gave up 3 runs in the first 2 innings, but then he really settled in and was able to handcuff the Ole Miss hitters. Evans finishes with 6 innings of work, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. He was good.
Yeah, it was fantastic after that Pano home run. Really, Ole Miss very little offense at all against Evans. See that 9 strikeouts, just the 2 walks, and that split figure. You could see in that package that ball diving away from left-handed hitters.
Did not give up a hit after the second inning. Only a couple of base runners allowed, a walk and a hit batter. And now it's Zach Cowan's turn, making his 9th appearance of the year. One of those as a starter. He's 1-0 with a .331 ERA. We pointed to the strikeout to walk numbers with Walker Hooks. Equally impressive with Zach Cowan.
Yeah, that's fantastic numbers right there. Fastball low 90s, changeup's been his best pitch. It's definitely the swing and miss pitch. He will use it a good bit. And neither starter will factor into the decision tonight.
2 starters that pitched well.
Absolutely.
Austin Fawley, Owen Pano, and then top of the order, Dom Decker to face Zach Cowan here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Big crowd tonight at Swayze Field for Game 1 of this series. Series that began in 1906. Fawley hits this one on the ground to short. Long throw across for Milam. And 1 pitch and 1 out. That's about as good as you can do for Zach Cowan. Owen Pano comes to the plate. Milam shifts over from his shortstop spot out more of a second base position. Owen Pano with a solo home run in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 4th. He shows bunt and pulls back and takes ball 1. LSU with a new third baseman. It's actually Dardar who's moved to 3rd. So Ethan Claus is now at 2nd base. This one fouled away 2-2. So Dardar moves to 3rd in place of Pearson, who was pinch run for. And Claus is now at 2nd base. He'll be in the 9 spot in the lineup for LSU. 2-2 to Pano. This one just off the plate. The count goes full. Puts it in play, but right back to the pitcher. Cowan flips to first for the 2nd out of the inning. So, good job out of the bullpen so far for Zach Cowan. Facing 2 hitters and getting a couple of ground balls on the infield. Top of the order, Dom Decker, who started the game for Ole Miss with a single, ended up coming around to score. He's grounded out a couple of times since then. LSU did not shift against Decker in his very first at bat. They have done so since, and they've gotten him out twice. One to Decker. Game 2 of this series tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Series finale on Sunday at 1:30. The 2-1. Strike 2
The changeup, such a good pitch, and then able to throw it. Kind of hitter thinking fastball. You can throw an arm speed changeup that looks like a fastball. It is one of the most effective pitches in baseball.
It's a swing and a miss for a strikeout. 1, 2, 3 go the Rebels in the bottom of the 7th. Still tied at 3. Three runs, 8 hits for LSU tonight. 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Ole Miss. Tigers have stranded 7. Rebels have left 4 on base. We go to the 8th inning. Big crowd tonight in Oxford for game 1 of this series, and it's going to come down to the end. And LSU has got 6, 7, and 8 coming to the plate to start the inning. Mason Braun, Omar Cerna, and Seth Dardar. Braun 2 for 3, a single and a double, and he takes strike 1 from Walker Hooks. Hunter Elliott, the starter tonight for Ole Miss, with 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs on a 2-run home run from Jake Brown, second hitter of the game. After that, did not allow anything else on the scoreboard. Landon Waters was the first out of the bullpen. That was to start the 7th inning. Back-to-back walks to the 9-hole hitter Pearson and Chris Stanfield at the top of the order. Ole Miss then turned to Hooks. Gave up the sacrifice fly to tie the game at 3, and that's where we stand. Arkansas leading Alabama 7-3 tonight in Tuscaloosa. They are still scoring runs in Nashville. 2-1 pitch out into right field, and that's going to fall for a base hit in front of Becerra. Big turn by Braun, but decides to slam on the brakes. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game. He's now 3 for 4.
Yeah, what a night Braun's had. A couple opposite field base hits. This time stays back on a breaking ball and able to keep that one fair. Thought when he left the bat, he's going to be able to get 2. Becerra did a nice job getting to this baseball, getting it back in quickly, keeping Braun over at first base.
Well, Turney made it first. I think Braun was thinking 2 as well. Here's Omar Cerna. He's got a couple of hits tonight. There's a throw to first, a pickoff, and an out. We talked about Hunter Elliott's move. Walker Hooks has been pretty good with that as well.
I think we're going to get a review. I think they're not sure Furness tagged Braun. Obviously, he clearly had the ball in time to tag him.
This would be big.
Hooks, another one of the Ole Miss left-handed pitchers with a really good pickoff move. And
LSU is challenging the out call at first base, plays under further
Braun,
review.
you're really pulling hard for this review because just can't get picked off right there. He wasn't running. He just goes into his secondary lead.
First base umpire Jeremy Dupree did not hesitate. You see the slide. Does he ever make contact? And if he does make contact, is it before Braun gets his hand back on the bag? I think that second angle we showed you may be the best look.
Nothing we've seen would make me think they're going to
After
overturn
review,
this
the
call.
runner is out. LSU is charged with its first challenge. It has one remaining.
So LSU loses a challenge. They have one remaining, and the call at first base stands. See the glove kind of bend there when he hits the right hip?
It does look like it hits the hip to me. Hawkeye giving us a good view of that. That technology's something, isn't it? Slow it down, clear shot. It's a long jog back for Braun to the dugout, though. Boy, just can't get picked off right there.
He just froze when the throw came to first base.
Yeah, he was going into a secondary. He thought that ball was going to home plate.
That's the third pickoff of the year by Walker Hooks. Elliott's got 3, Libert's got 3, Gibson's got 3, and now Walker Hooks has 3. And an 0-1 pitch coming to Cerna. He fouls it off and is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. It's a lonely spot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bad feeling. He obviously knows that can't happen. You get out there and that move's good. You're in your secondary, and about the worst feeling you can have. That ball comes back behind you at first base.
The 0-2. Said they're still scoring in Nashville. How about 13-11 Oklahoma in the 8th? Auburn up big on Kentucky at home after winning series a weekend ago at home against Arkansas. Mississippi State was swept at home last weekend by Georgia. They trail in the 8th, 6-4 to Tennessee, a Tennessee team that lost 2 of 3 at home to this LSU squad last weekend. One ball, 2 strikes. Check swing, foul ball, and that was just barely foul down the first baseline.
Whew. He almost had himself a check swing double right there. A couple of heartbeats skipped in the Ole Miss dugout. You're in the shift, guy check swings it and can't get to the baseball.
Well, Furness played way off the line. He was on a sprint to try and get to the line.
Good shot there.
The 1-2 to Cerna. Outside. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Foley going to have to throw down to first. Does so in time to get Cerna. That is the first strikeout for Walker Hooks since coming into the ball game. Got the swing and the miss.
Hooks just looked like an entirely different guy this year than last year. Just really confident out on the mound, throwing big pitches in big situations. Saw those numbers last weekend and certainly doing his job so far tonight.
Tardar fouls the first pitch off. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Talk about a guy that's been around the world and back. He's from Mandeville. Spent his first 2 years at Columbia, then transferred to Kansas State, and now back closer to home at LSU. The 0-1. Over the top of the breaking ball there. It's 0-2. Swing and a miss. Walker Hooks gets back-to-back strikeouts. After a leadoff single, it's pickoff. K, 3-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Back in the first inning, LSU got a leadoff walk to start the game, and then Jake Brown went deep for the 14th time this year, put LSU in front 2-0. Will Furniss got an RBI single. Ole Miss answered with a couple of runs in the second, and then Owen Pano hit a go-ahead home run. That made it 3-2, and the pitchers settled in. Kason Evans for LSU, Hunter Elliott for Ole Miss. Both went 6 innings. Evans struck out 9, Elliott struck out 8. Sacrifice fly for LSU in the top of the 7th inning, and we stand at 3-3. Now going to the bottom of the 8th. Ole Miss has 2, 3, and 4 coming to the plate. Tristan Becerra, Judd Utermark, and Will Furniss. Shift is on against Tristan Becerra. Zach Cowan in for his second inning of work. He delivers outside for ball 1.
If you're Ole Miss, these are the guys you want coming up, right? 2, 3, and 4. A couple of guys that can drive the ball out of the ballpark for sure in the first 2.
27 home runs combined between Becerra and Utermark. Furniss has got 2. One ball and 1 strike to Tristan Becerra. And he lays off a fastball at the knees there and falls behind 1-2. On the ground, left side. Tough play, long throw, not in time. Throw does not get away. And so Becerra going to be at first base. Leadoff man on for the Rebels as Becerra went the opposite way.
Yeah, I think that's Claus, right? It's so hard to tell where everybody's playing. But this is Claus that ends up in that position, has to throw it against his body. And I don't think he's getting Becerra anyways. But when they shifted, they ended up with Milam over in the 4-hole.
Yeah.
And Claus, who's playing second, playing short. It was really funny how that shift ended up.
On paper, LSU has Dardar at third, Milam at short, and Claus at second. They've moved guys all over the place with the shift tonight. Here is Judd Utermark, and he takes outside for ball 1.
Just the crazy thing there was they ended up with their second baseman as the only guy on the left side of the infield. Their third baseman and their shortstop were on the right side. Now the more traditional shift where you see guys playing at least in the right order.
Utermark on the ground, chance for 2. Milam goes to second for 1, to first, not in time. Utermark runs well, and now they say safe at second base. Said came off the bag too soon on the throw at second base. Stephen Milam is saying to his dugout, no, let's review it. Second base umpire Christopher Gonzalez said that Claus came off the bag.
And again, Claus is coming at a funny angle, right? Because he's basically playing shortstop, but he's coming over to take a throw from deeper at shortstop. The ball clearly gets there in time. I mean, this is all about whether he's off the bag.
LSU is challenging the call of safe at second base, plays under further review.
He had his foot on the bag to start, and then it came off. Did it come off before he had the ball in his glove? You see the emphatic signal from Gonzalez there, the umpire. He's not on the bag there. Does he catch it with his back foot? Becerra goes in. No.
That's a good call.
He's going to be safe.
Yeah, that's a really good call. Claus, you're right. He starts with it, then he pulls it off to catch the ball, and then it looks like he tries to reach back and touch. Doesn't touch. Because you look right here at this step, so he catches. He's clearly not on there.
So watch his left foot. He's not on the bag.
And then it looks to me like he tries to touch.
They've shown it on the video board in the stadium.
At the next step, well, keep rolling it.
I think they are controlling this from Birmingham.
I don't. I mean, they
that,
called him safe on the field. I see nothing that would overturn that. What you got, Richard?
Well, you saw where the left foot was. You obviously get
runner
blocked at the
second
end.
is safe. The runner at first is safe. LSU is charged with a second timeout, has none remaining.
And LSU doesn't have any more challenges tonight either.
That's right. So unsuccessful on a pair of challenges on the pickoff play at first, and now on what looked like there was a chance for two. Judd Utermark runs really well. Jay Johnson getting an explanation. And by rule, a head coach cannot argue with a decision that is made by replay. The gray area there is, hey, tell me what they saw. Explain that to me a little bit.
Either that or he wanted to question whether the slide was straight into second as well, not just whether the foot stayed on the base. That would be my only reason. I can imagine he was having a discussion.
And now time for a meeting on the mound for LSU as veteran pitching coach Nate Yeskie will go out and we'll talk with Zach Cowan.
It's Clint Fagan, home plate umpire, having a conversation now with Mike Bianco.
By the way, they scored the Becerra play a hit.
Yeah, I would think that one had to be. The other, you almost could charge an error on Claus on the next one because clearly he should have caught that ball on the bag.
So Mike Bianco with a conversation with Clint Fagan while the meeting on the mound wraps up. One inning, one hit. Now Will Furness comes to the plate in a big spot, playing against the alma mater of his father, one of the best players in LSU baseball history, and Eddie Furness, but be assured that at least for tonight, Dad is in red and blue. Furness goes after the first pitch and fouls it high and out of play on the opposite side. Teams shift against Will Furness, and they still do. I don't know that there's a player on Ole Miss's team that has been willing to go the opposite way more than Furness has.
Certainly in the air, he clearly will. Clearly the analytics are showing on the ground. He's a pull guy. And if you remember, his first at-bat when he drove in the run, LSU was not shifted, and had they been, they would have gotten the ball.
No balls and a strike. Cowan. This is away for ball one. Official scoring, fielder's choice for Utermark, and Becerra is safe at second on a fielding error.
By the side, I just think it has to be. I mean, Claus didn't catch the ball on the base.
Ball and a strike to Will Furness. Becerra at second, Utermark at first. Good speed on the bases. Furness apparently got a piece of that. Not sure Becerra or Utermark either were convinced that it was fouled off. Both took off. But a ball and 2 strikes to Will Furness. The 1-2 to Furness. First and second, nobody out. Furness puts it in play up the middle, behind the bag. The only play is to first. Pulls the first baseman. Furness is safe, and Ole Miss has got the bases loaded. Bases are full, and a ball has yet to leave the infield in this half inning.
So Dardar this time is the one that's going to have to, because of the shift, comes across, gets the ball, plants, and just pulls Braun off the bag at first base. It certainly could be another error. They may give a base hit, but a play Dardar would like to make. And
now LSU is going to bring it the infield in. Becerra at third, Utermark at second, Will Furness at first, and Federico takes inside for ball 1. (3-3) Ole Miss and LSU, game 1 of this weekend's 3-game series. This is the start of week 5 in SEC play. Ball 2 inside again. Zach Cowan got Ole Miss 1-2-3 in the 7th inning. Becerra grounded it against the shift. The 2-0. Federico out in front, pulls this one foul down the right field line.
You can see him trying to get up under that changeup, trying to get the ball in the air. Just kind of drops that backside, gets the barrel under the ball.
See the number with runners in scoring position. Federico trying to find a way to get Becerra home and give Ole Miss the lead. The 2-1. Fouls it back, got a fastball and missed it.
They have given Will Furness a base hit, by the way, in that last play.
Okay.
Big pitch here for Cowan. Like nothing better than to get a strikeout. Obviously, Federico wants to find a way to put this ball in play.
Infield in all the way around for LSU. The 2-2 to Federico. Hammers this one foul down the right field line. Brown dove for it. Federico flirted with extra bases. I think this crowd's hanging on every pitch.
Federico goes down and gets this. Braun tries to get it, can't get there, and the ball a couple of feet foul. And yeah, there's some energy right now, some nervous energy here. Swayze.
Again, the 2-2. Federico stays alive. Still nobody out in the inning. Becerra at third, Utermark at second, Furness at first. Off the glove of Cerna, skips up the third base line, but no chance this time for Becerra to come home. A good take by Federico. The count goes full, and Swayze Field collectively comes to its feet. The full count. Down the right field line, toward the bullpen, into the corner. Picked up there by Brown. Becerra comes home to score. Ole Miss. Now you've got Federico out on the play. I think he was in shock that only one run came home. He rounded first, and there was nowhere for him to go. And so Ole Miss takes the lead 4-3. Federico's fired up, but he's also the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Udemark obviously is tagging up at second on this. This ball stays fair, obviously stays in the ballpark. And Federico looks up, and he just gets too far, obviously thinking second base is going to be open. It's not. And LSU gets an easy first out of the inning.
So LSU with the infield in. Ole Miss now in front 4-3. And Brett Mosley at the plate, and he bunts it down the third base line, and it's a beauty! Fair ball, safety squeeze, and Ole Miss leads 5-3 on a perfectly executed bunt by Mosley. Udermark home to score on the play. Furness now is at third.
Yeah, he's squaring, and obviously, like you said, it's a safety squeeze. Udermark's not going to go at third until he sees the ball on the ground. And then Claus charging actually touches this ball. That's why even though it rolls foul, he touches the ball. And obviously Brett Mosley very excited, as is this Ole Miss crowd, with a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 8th.
And now Braden Randall to the plate with runners at the corners and still one down in the inning. Randall hits it high in the air to shallow left field. Furness is at third base. He'll tag. He's going to try to score. Throw is offline, and Will Furness touches home plate, and it's now 6-3. Let's just be honest, a risky proposition to tag Will Furness at third base. He is not the fleetest of foot, but you put the pressure on the defense to make a play.
That's right. Second out being made when the catch was made. You got to make LSU make the play. Stanfield comes up and just does not make a good throw. If he makes a good throw home, Furness is out. Furness obviously tags correctly, and Stanfield's throw is just way offline. Furness walks across the plate.
And not only is it offline, he kind of camped under it and then almost threw that ball flat-footed as opposed to catching it, momentum, and all of those things.
Yeah, my guess is Stanfield was not expecting Furness to be going. Ole Miss aggressive, and they have a 3-run bottom of the 8th and a 3-run lead.
Inning and 2/3 for Zach Cowan. And if we're being honest, it feels like his fate should probably be a little bit different than it turns out here. Ole Miss certainly will take it. First 3 runners reach base without a ball leaving the infield.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, we had the ground ball infield hit. Then you have the ball that could have been a double play, but as Cowan walks off the field, Ole Miss has a 3-run lead.
In the bottom of the 8th inning, we'll tell you about the new pitcher after this. Right-hander Connor Binge into the game for LSU, making his 8th appearance of the year. all of them in relief. 3 innings of work this season for Benj. He's given up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned.
Mid-90s fastball and a slider, mostly a 2-pitch mix for Benj.
A wild bottom of the 8th for Ole Miss. A leadoff infield single for Tristan Becerra. You see Zach Cowan inning in a third. 1 strikeout, 4 hits allowed. Then Utermark hits it to the shortstop area, but with the shift on, and so it's a little bit of a tough angle. Claus missed the bag at second, trying to make the throw to first, so you had Utermark reach on a fielder's choice, and there was an error charged on the second baseman. Will Furness gets credit for an infield single on a ball on the ground, where because of the shift you had middle infielder going toward the third base side, trying to throw back across. Hayden Federico hits one into the corner, drives in the go-ahead run to make it 4-3, makes a big turn at first base. He's almost to second base, and he's tagged out because the guys in front of him only advanced 1 base. And then a safety squeeze RBI single for Mosley and a sacrifice fly for Braden Randall that he hit about 200 feet.
And all this inning.
It all adds up to a 3-run lead for Ole Miss in the bottom of the 8th. And Austin Fawley at the plate to deal with Connor Benj.
Yeah, Mosley is very good speed. Benj with the pickoff. You're going to run. This is a good opportunity for Ole Miss to run.
There's a strike to Austin Fawley. Only 0 for 3 in the 8-hole tonight. A strikeout, a fly out, and a ground out. The 0-1 from Benj. Fawley hits it foul, third base side. Of the 3 runs allowed by Cowan, only 1 is an earned run. Fawley behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes with runner at first, and Mosley goes back in standing. Swing and a miss. Got him on the off speed. Fawley goes down, but Ole Miss puts 3 runs on the board in the bottom of the 8th. They're 3 outs away from a win. Late inning dramatics once again for Ole Miss. On Saturday night in Gainesville, the Rebels scored 5 runs in the top of the ninth inning. Ended up being the winning runs for the Rebels to take a series from Florida. Tonight, Ole Miss gets 3 in the bottom of the 8th. 3 runs on 4 hits. And now Ole Miss has a 3-run lead going to the 9th. And LSU will pinch hit here to start the inning. Edward Yaman IV. Right-handed hitter against the left-hander Walker Hooks, who came into the game with a mess in the 7th inning. Yaman is the 4th different player. Point has been in this 9-hole in the lineup. It was Pearson, and then Patrick pinch ran for him, and then Claus came in, and now it's Yaman at the plate. 1 home run, 4 driven in on the year. He swings and misses, and is behind in the count, 0-2. LSU struck first in this ball game with a 2-run home run from Jake Brown in the top of the 1st. Ole Miss answered with 2 runs in the bottom of that inning, took a lead in the 2nd with a solo home run from Owen Pano, led it 3-2. LSU tied the game in the 7th with a sacrifice fly from Carriel. Made it 3-3. But Ole Miss with 3 runs in the 8th. Rebels are in front of Jay Johnson's ball club, 6-3.
And Jay Johnson needs some base runners.
Yaman in the 9-hole, and he takes low after falling behind in the count 0-2. He's taken 3 straight balls, and the count is full.
And obviously, if you're Ole Miss, you want anything but a leadoff walk right here. Make LSU earn everything. LSU just trying to figure out a way to get on base. Get that tie and run to the plate.
Full count pitch. Popped up a mile in the air on the left side of the infield. Utermark is calling for it. Then he's called off by Randall, who makes the catch 1 away. You and I have been to a lot of ball games in this park. When Federico was at the plate and the count went full, that was as loud as I've heard it in a long time.
Certainly a regular season game here.
Chris Stanfield, top of the order for LSU, takes strike 1. Tends to be a little more juice when LSU is in town. I think that's undeniable. Eight national championships all time for LSU. The first coming in 1991, the most recent last season. Tigers have won it all 2 of the last 3 years. Stanfield pops it up, first base side. Furness with a chance, and he'll make the catch. They're 2 down in the inning. Walker Hooks came into this game in the 7th inning with 1st and 2nd and nobody out after back-to-back walks. He got a pop out, gave up a sac fly. There was an error that was mixed in there, and then a fly ball to get out of the inning. He's now an out away from being the winning pitcher tonight for Ole Miss.
Yeah, and don't discount the pickoff. Remember back on Braun, leading off the 8th inning. Braun got the base hit and then was immediately picked off.
Jake Brown had the 2-run home run back in the 1st, his 14th of the year, his 4th in SEC play. He takes strike 1. Brown 1 for 4 tonight. Couple of strikeouts and a pop out. Swings in the count 0-2. Walker Hooks a strike away from giving Ole Miss a win in Game 1 of this 3-game series with the LSU Tigers. The 0-2 pitch. This one misses down for ball 1. Ole Miss shifted against Brown. The 1-2. Chased it in the dirt, picked up by Fawley. He will tag him out, and that is your ball game. Ole Miss with 3 runs in a wild bottom of the 8th. The Rebels win game 1 6-3, and we'll meet LSU again tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Credit to Walker Hooks. That was a fantastic job closing this one out for Ole Miss. Ole Miss opportunistic in the bottom of the 8th. Added some runs, and Ole Miss gets a good Friday night win.
Ole Miss moves to 6-7 in the SEC. LSU falls to 6-7 in the SEC. Thanks for being with us on an absolutely gorgeous Friday night in Oxford, a packed house. We'll do it again tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. For our entire SEC Network crew and my partner Keith Kessinger, I'm Richard Cross. Final score from Oxford, Ole Miss 6, LSU 3.